Beyond the serene landscapes and ornate temples of Cambodia lies a history of 3 decades of heart-wrenching chaos that led to the death of 1.7 million innocent Cambodians. Join us today as we unveil the disturbing chapters of Cambodia's past, from the golden era of the Khmer Empire to the haunting echoes of a nation scarred by civil wars, dictatorship, and unimaginable atrocities. So, my dear history buffs, get ready to embark on this untold story of Cambodia, a tale of tragedy, courage, and the enduring spirit of people. The Golden Age. Before we move ahead to its dreadful chapters, let us just have a glimpse of Cambodia's glorious past. In the heart of Southeast Asia lies a treasure trove of wonders, where the Khmer Empire once reigned supreme, a glorious era etched in the sands of time. Imagine a kingdom where a stone metropolis emerged from the verdant jungles, where gods seemed to dance in stone. The Khmer Empire, a civilization steeped in mystique and achievement, left an indelible mark on history through its architectural opulence. Beyond the monumental structures lay a civilization steeped in cultural richness, a tapestry woven with vibrant dance, elaborate ceremonies, and exquisite artistry. The sprawling temple complexes, intricate carvings, and advanced hydraulic systems painted a portrait of a civilization far ahead of its time. The golden era of the Khmer Empire wasn't just a chapter. It was an epic of unparalleled cultural achievement and visionary innovation. Carpet bombing on Cambodia by U.S. forces. As the flames of the Vietnam War blazed across Southeast Asia, a shadow loomed over Cambodia, a country caught in the crosshairs of conflict. The reasons behind the United States' decision to bomb Cambodia are rooted in the strategic maneuvers of that time. In 1969, the U.S. military, seeking to disrupt North Vietnamese supply lines and halt communist forces, extended its military operations into Cambodian territory. The strategic objective was to target the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the lifeline for North Vietnamese supplies, which passed through Cambodia. Between 1969 and 1973, Cambodia experienced relentless bombing campaigns, known as carpet bombing, aimed at disrupting enemy supply lines. The repercussions were dire. It destroyed villages, displaced populations, and severed damage to Cambodia's infrastructure. During these tumultuous years, Cambodia bore the brunt of intense aerial bombing, causing unimaginable suffering among innocent civilians. The scars of this period continue to echo through Cambodia's history, marking a somber chapter in the nation's past. This was the beginning of Cambodia's nightmare that was going to last for 30 years. Beginning of Khmer Rouge ideology. Amidst Cambodia's post-colonial journey in the mid-20th century, emerged a pivotal movement. It was an ideological ripple that would alter the nation's course forever. The inception of the Khmer Rouge. In the years following Cambodia's independence from French colonial rule in the 1950s, the nation grappled with political turbulence and social upheaval. It was within this maelstrom of discontent that the Khmer Rouge, born as a covert communist movement, found its footing. During this period, the Khmer Rouge, inspired by Marxist-Leninist ideologies, emerged as a voice of opposition, challenging the prevailing socio-political landscape. Fueled by a fervent desire for change, they sought to carve a new path for Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge movement surfaced as a beacon of dissent, bearing within it an ideology poised to reshape the nation's destiny. Pol Pot's background. Dive into Pol Pot's early life, his radicalization, and leadership within the Khmer Rouge. Born in 1925, Pol Pot's formative years unfolded against a nation in flux. Educated in France in the 1950s, he immersed himself in leftist ideologies and radical philosophies, fostering a fervent belief in communism and revolutionary change. Returning to Cambodia in 1953, Pol Pot embarked on his ascent within the clandestine communist movement. By 1963, he assumed leadership within the Khmer Rouge, steering the movement towards an uncompromising vision. It was a vision that would ultimately plunge Cambodia into darkness. We will talk more about his atrocities later in the video. For now, let's move on to the Vietnamese militia's support of the Khmer Rouge in taking over Cambodia. Takeover of Cambodia. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, Cambodia found itself embroiled in the Vietnam War's spillover, facing internal unrest and political instability. The Khmer Rouge, under the leadership of Pol Pot, gradually gained momentum, fueled by ideological fervor and aided by alliances with external forces, including the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese troops. By the early 1970s, Cambodia was embroiled in a civil war between the right-leaning military, which had ousted Prince Norodom Sihanouk, and those supporting the Khmer Rouge's alliance with the deposed leader. As the conflict escalated, the Khmer Rouge steadily gained control of more territory, primarily in rural areas. On April 17, 1975, after 5 years of civil war, foreign interventions, and intense bombings, the Khmer Rouge forces marched triumphantly into Phnom Penh, Cambodia's capital. The capture of Phnom Penh marked the climax of their campaign, signaling the end of a regime and the dawn of a new era under Khmer Rouge rule. The Khmer Rouge's takeover brought an abrupt and radical transformation to Cambodia. With the fall of Phnom Penh, Pol Pot's regime swiftly imposed its vision of an agrarian communist society. The capital's residents and urban dwellers were forcibly evacuated to the countryside, compelled to undertake agricultural labor in pursuit of an agrarian utopia. This marked the beginning of a dark chapter in Cambodia's history, characterized by widespread atrocities, forced labor, and a ruthless implementation of ideological reforms. The Khmer Rouge's takeover on April 17, 1975, marked the start of their brutal rule, plunging Cambodia into a period of unprecedented suffering and tragedy. Atrocities and genocide by the Khmer Rouge. Life under the Khmer Rouge regime was a descent into a haunting reality, a reality characterized by draconian policies, relentless surveillance, and a dystopian vision of societal restructuring. Every aspect of daily life was regimented and controlled. Personal freedoms were abolished and replaced by an oppressive surveillance system that monitored citizens' actions, speech, and even thoughts. As the Khmer Rouge seized power in April 1975, they embarked on a radical mission to create an agrarian utopia. Under the guise of revolutionary purity, the regime enacted Year Zero, an initiative aimed at erasing all vestiges of Cambodia's past. Intellectuals, professionals, and those associated with the former government were targeted as threats to the new order. The regime systematically executed individuals perceived as threats, including teachers, artists, intellectuals, religious figures, and ethnic minorities. The execution methods were barbaric and the victims were often bludgeoned, tortured, or killed en masse in fields or designated killing sites. The population was subjected to forced labor in collective farms and labor camps, enduring horrendous conditions, starvation, and rampant diseases. Malnutrition and lack of medical care claimed countless lives. Detainees were subjected to ruthless interrogations, torture, and forced confessions. Suspected dissenters were tortured mercilessly in prisons like the infamous SY1, subjected to inhumane conditions and brutal interrogation methods. Children were indoctrinated and conscripted into the Khmer Rouge ranks, often forced to commit atrocities against their own people. Families were torn apart, separated, and destroyed, leaving lasting scars on the social fabric of Cambodia. The genocide and atrocities committed by the Khmer Rouge stand as one of the most horrific chapters in human history. Fall of Khmer Rouge. Following years of anguish under Khmer Rouge oppression, the regime's grip on power began to wane. In 1979, Vietnamese forces intervened, toppling the Khmer Rouge from their stranglehold on Cambodia and putting an end to their brutal reign. The leadership and remaining forces of the Khmer Rouge fled to remote areas and sought refuge along the border regions of Cambodia, particularly in the western part of the country near the Thai border. These areas provided hiding places and bases for the Khmer Rouge to regroup and continue their insurgency against the Vietnamese-backed government in Phnom Penh. Thailand also became a sanctuary for Khmer Rouge leaders and troops, where they received support from sympathetic factions and remained active in their resistance efforts against the new Cambodian government. The ousting of the Khmer Rouge led to a period of transition and reconstruction. Cambodia grappled with the aftermath of a genocidal regime, a nation fractured, scarred, and grappling with profound trauma. The end of Khmer Rouge rule marked the beginning of a long and arduous road toward healing and recovery. Yet, it was not the end of Cambodia's suffering. The revival of a democratic Cambodia was also painful. General elections of 1981. In the wake of the Khmer Rouge's downfall, Cambodia embarked on a journey toward political rehabilitation, a crucial phase that included the prospect of democratic renewal. Cambodia embraced a transitional period marked by efforts to establish a democratic framework. The nation witnessed a significant milestone, the holding of general elections, a pivotal moment in Cambodia's post-conflict trajectory. In 1981, Cambodia embarked on a meaningful journey with its first general elections after the fall of the Khmer Rouge. However, the electoral landscape held a singular presence, with only one party participating, the Kampuchean People's Revolutionary Party, KPRP. The KPRP, led by Heng Samrin, stood unopposed in these pivotal elections, ultimately securing a sweeping victory with a staggering 97.8% of the vote, a resounding mandate that marked the party's ascent to power. Withdrawal of Vietnamese troops in 1989. In 1989, a pivotal shift unfolded in Cambodia's political sphere, an event that would significantly redefine the nation's trajectory following years of external involvement. The year marked a watershed moment as Vietnamese forces commenced their withdrawal from Cambodia, signaling the end of an era marked by external intervention and occupation. This withdrawal was conducted in phases, gradually reducing the Vietnamese military presence in Cambodia. The withdrawal of Vietnamese forces from Cambodia brought forth a mix of apprehension and hope. While it symbolized the end of a prolonged period of occupation, it also stirred concerns about potential power vacuums and stability in a nation grappling with a tumultuous past. After the withdrawal, remnants of the Khmer Rouge did attempt to reassert their influence and stage a comeback. They sought to capitalize on the power vacuum and political uncertainties that emerged in the aftermath of the Vietnamese departure. The Khmer Rouge continued its insurgency, attempting to regain control and disrupt the fragile peace that was gradually taking shape in Cambodia. This post-withdrawal period witnessed a complex interplay of political maneuvering, attempts at national reconciliation, and efforts to stabilize the nation. In 1989, the political conflict in Cambodia primarily involved internal factions and external influences. The internal conflict revolved around the struggle for power and control among various political factions within Cambodia, including the Cambodian People's Party, CPP, the Phun Sinpec Party led by Prince Norodom Sihanouk, and remnants of the Khmer Rouge, the Paris Peace Agreements, 1991. During this tumultuous time, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of the Paris Peace Agreements. It was an epical accord that sought to pave the way for peace, stability, and national reconciliation. Signed in 1991, the Paris Peace Agreements stood as a landmark achievement. It was a culmination of extensive diplomatic efforts aimed at ending decades of conflict and charting a course toward political stability in Cambodia. The agreements were signed by 19 countries, including Cambodia and the major global powers. The significance of the Paris Peace Agreements lay in their comprehensive framework, outlining a roadmap for a democratic political system, the disarmament of factions, the repatriation of refugees, and the establishment of a United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC. The Paris Peace Agreements 1991 acted as a catalyst, fostering an environment conducive to political stability and national reconciliation in Cambodia. While challenges still persisted, the agreements laid the groundwork for a transition towards democracy and the rebuilding of a nation torn by conflict. Logistical issues, including the vast scale of the operation, geographical complexities, and limited resources, posed challenges to UNTAC's ability to effectively implement its mandate across the entire country. While UNTAC made strides in organizing and overseeing elections in 1993, enabling a democratically elected government to take office, its limitations in fully addressing the deep-rooted political and societal issues within Cambodia were evident. 1997. Cambodia coup d'état. The year 1997 bore witness to a tumultuous chapter, a period marred by political upheaval and internal strife. Prime Minister Prince Norodom Ranariddh was ousted from power by co-Prime Minister Hun Sen, marking a critical juncture in the nation's political history. Tensions between the two co-prime ministers, Ranariddh and Hun Sen, had been escalating due to a range of political disagreements and power struggles within the coalition government. Hun Sen swiftly moved to seize control, accusing Ranariddh of plotting against the government. Hun Sen's forces ousted Ranariddh from power, dissolved the National Assembly, and declared a state of emergency. The coup marked a significant shift in Cambodia's political dynamics. With Prince Ranariddh ousted, Hun Sen solidified his position, consolidating power within the CPP. This coup increased the centralization of authority under Hun Sen's leadership, raising concerns about democratic principles and the concentration of power in the hands of one party. The coup d'état prompted international condemnation and raised apprehensions about Cambodia's democratic future. It intensified political polarization and instability, impacting the country's governance and raising concerns about the rule of law and human rights within Cambodia. Through the passage of time and trials endured, Cambodia stands today as a testament to resilience, a nation that has weathered the tempest of history and embarked on a remarkable journey of recovery and renewal. This was 3 decades of disturbing history of Cambodia. Hope you liked this roller coaster ride through the haunting past of Cambodia. If you want to keep quacking along with us through history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.